The Netherlands generated a record amount of sustainable electricity this spring. Dutch power companies celebrated by raising their rates again. Hi, it's me, Greg Shapiro, for Climate News Comedy, putting the GS in SDGs. The clean energy transition. I know progress is supposed to be all about 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but lately, it's been feeling more like Sideshow Bob chasing the Simpsons. In the Netherlands, we had been making some real progress in speeding up the energy transition. And then Russia invaded Ukraine, and now the Netherlands is transitioning to reopening the gas valves in Groningen. Groningen. The is for the earthquakes. You know how they sometimes say it's gonna get worse before it gets better? Well, it feels like they're half right. The Dutch government's current climate plan is not looking great. To hit our 2030 targets at this point, it would take a miracle. In fact, that is the Dutch government's current official policy, pray for miracle. That's why the Christian Union is still in the Dutch coalition. The good news is Dutch folks are pretty good at wind power generation. Windmills, typical Dutch. Especially installing the windmills offshore. Water management, typical Dutch. All we need now is a power grid to handle all this new electricity. Oops, the grid is at full capacity. How can we get so close to the finish line and then trip up? Choking in the final, also typical Dutch. The Netherlands needs an upgraded power grid like yesterday, and that kind of upgrade is inevitably going to look messy. Bad news, Dutch folks don't do very well with mess. In fact, the Netherlands is so anal retentive, they have a shelf in their toilets for literally inspecting their own poop. When Sigmund Freud coined the term anal retentive, it is likely he was referring to a Dutch patient. Take, for example, the Dutch landscape. It is so rigid, it could be on the autistic spectrum. The Dutch landscape is so flat, it's like a Lego base plate. And anything they build on top of it, if it gets messy, Dutch people are like the dad in the Lego movie.
What?
So here's a question. If power transmission is so messy, then why can't we just have more places that provide their own power? Like the largest solar car park in the world, opening at the famous Dutch music festival Lowlands, generating enough power to supply 100 Lowlands festivals. And any extra electricity, they can just use it up next door at Wallaby Flavoland. Again, the bad news is, providing your own power, that's multi-hub. You see, the power grid used to be simple. You create power here, you transmit it over there. It's very simple, very binary. But apparently, the future is non-binary. A very loaded term. And yet, it makes perfect sense because a lot of people in, say, power companies dealing with the idea of multi-hub power generation, it's a lot like Americans in the state of Florida trying to deal with Bruce Jenner transitioning to Caitlyn. The power grid was like most management structures, top down, one way, very hierarchical. But that might be good news for the Netherlands because Dutch management structure is famously non-hierarchical. In most cultures, the boss says it and you do it. Not in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, the boss says it and then everyone gets to debate it in meeting after meeting, even if you've only been in the office for 2 weeks. Some cultures like to say, let's agree to disagree. In the Netherlands, they debate so much, it's like, let's disagree to agree. In fact, there is a famous Dutch saying, iedereen moet zijn plasje erover doen. Literally translated, it means everyone gets a chance to piss on your ideas in a Dutch meeting. And hey, if your idea can stand up to such a test, then maybe it deserves to win. So here's to the Netherlands living up to its reputation for innovation in speeding up the energy transition. And if we need more ideas that are powered by people pissing on them, I'd say the Dutch already have a leg up.